Hey everyone, this is Sophia and Happy New Year. Today we're going to be talking about my 2024 favorites. We are covering a little bit of everything from fashion, home, tech, beauty. So if you're only interested in a specific category, I'm going to leave timestamps in the description box, or you can probably find it on the timeline. But anything that I can find online, I'll link in the description box. This video is not sponsored. So without further ado, let's just get into the first category, which is fashion. The first thing is this vintage Burberry trench. I found this in like a random store I walked into in Seattle. I saw that in the back they had like a pre-loved corner. I was looking around and I saw this. This actually also comes with a internal lining as well as a collar. They're at the dry cleaners right now, so unfortunately I'm not able to show you, but I just thought this was perfect. This is also women's sizing, so sizing wise it fits me perfectly, but it's still a little oversized, so I can still wear sweaters under it, and the sleeve length is perfect. Number two is this shirt. This is actually from the men's collection. I love these kinds of shirts in the summer for a breeziness, but also my arms get cold really easily, so when I wear tank tops and I'm out at night, I get like cold really easily. So these shirts are literally perfect. I love the color, I love the print. I've washed it a few times and it still looks amazing, and it's also super soft. Now moving on to pants. I don't think I technically bought this year, but I loved it so much wearing it this year that I truly wish I had more. And that is these Faherty jeans. They are just the softest but also stiffest jeans that I've ever worn. It's really hard to explain because I hate really stiff jeans, but the really soft ones make me feel like I'm not wearing jeans. And so I've always been about jeans, but this is both stiff and the fabric is definitely jean, but it's so soft and stretchy. The cut of this is also perfect. I don't think I ever actually got this hemmed, and I'm pretty short. I'm 5'3". I think the only reason why I haven't bought more is because they are very expensive. So they are an investment. I think I bought this one pair and I had to pay like $200 including tax in Seattle, and so I was just like, these better be the best jeans ever. They are. I did buy them in a size up though, partly because I wanted to be able to keep them forever knowing how expensive they are. So I did get this in a size 32. I'm usually like a size 30 or 31 depending on the brand, but I prefer the fit of these as a size 32, and I'll just throw a belt on. The last fashion item might not come as a surprise. They are very dirty though, so I apologize in advance. But they are the Hermes chipper sandals that I bought in Vegas. These are just great. It did take a while for me to break them in, specifically for this strap, because of it all being leather. It can kind of rub against your, like, the part of the foot that slides up. But they have been broken in because I wear them all the time, and these are just really good, really comfortable. I wouldn't necessarily say you can like walk all day in them, but for a good amount of the day, definitely. Maybe if you wear socks, you could probably walk all day in these. I definitely would be buying more of these if I ever find them in like different colorways and such. Okay, now that we've done fashion, let's move on to beauty. So I don't have a ton, but I have the ones that count. The first is this Aesop hand cream in this particular scent. I've tried multiple different hand creams at different price points, but this is the only one that does not irritate my skin. And in fact, I've actually gotten used to the smell to the point where I prefer the scent now. I even have this in a travel size, so I can take it with me when I travel. I think this is worth the splurge, especially if you're really sensitive to hand cream. Okay, another favorite is this Fino hair mask. This is the second jar that I had brought back from Japan, and I've been careful not to use it, but I really love it, and I found a few places in New York that do carry it that isn't ridiculously expensive, so I'm excited to use it again soon. I'm just waiting to finish my current conditioner shampoo set before I put this back into my rotation. And then sunscreen. If you've watched any of my entry videos, this Anessa sunscreen is really not going to come as a surprise as a favorite. This is just, I think, one of my all-time favorite sunscreens now. This is quite an expensive sunscreen, but it does last a while, so win some, you lose some. The second to last beauty, and I haven't actually started using it, is are these little capsules, and I got the blue one as well. That one I've used up. This is the one I haven't started using yet, so I actually don't know how this will work, but the blue one is amazing, especially for travel, and that's the only time I use these. And then the last beauty favorite, this is a Lay Flat hair clip, I think, by Teleties. It is really weird for me to sit here and say that a hair clip is a favorite because you can buy hair clips and find hair clips anywhere. It just grips onto my hair. It doesn't feel like when it's falling off, it's yanking my hair back. And actually, it's never fallen off. This is the medium size. They have a lot of color options, and I just think this is such good quality. The hold is great. I mean, I don't know how much more I can talk about a hair clip, but this is great. Let's move on to tech / stationery because this is kind of a 2-in-1. So the first one of my favorites this year is my agenda cover. It kind of just lays flat on my desk and I just write stuff down. If I'm making plans with friends, I'll write it down in here because I'm really forgetful. The next stationery set is my traveler's journal. This was truly like kind of an impulse purchase, I won't lie, this year, but I didn't realize how much I needed like something outside of my planner to write down notes, write down quotes. It is quite a splurge. And then also the stationery pouch. This is super unnecessary. But again, this is one of those things where I was like, as you get into it, you kind of fall into the rabbit hole, and this was the rabbit hole. This is unnecessary, but I love it because I love that it's able to kind of protect my traveler's notebook, and it can carry a lot of like stationery supplies and such. The last tech favorite is going to be really quick, and that is my MacBook Pro. I purchased this as like a birthday present to myself because I really did need a new laptop. And this has been great. It does what I need it to do, especially for video editing. And I like the size. It's much more convenient to carry around with me to go to cafes or to travel with compared to my 15-inch. Let's talk home. So some of these things in the home category do not have on hand because they're kind of bulky or they're plugged in or they're on something. So I'm just gonna insert the clips I took of them and hopefully it will show you how they're being utilized right now. So the first thing is this set of command hooks. I, in general, am a big proponent of command hooks. And sometimes I forget how many options there are in the universe. And so when I found these particular ones, I just love how useful they are because of the dual hooks. I mean, I don't know how much more I can say about command hooks, but these are really great and they look really sleek. They are on the pricier side because they are a little bigger, but they come in a pack of 2 and honestly, they're worth the price. The next thing is Zevo fly traps. I'm not gonna spend too much on this. I feel like they've been kind of popping around in influencer videos recently. They are unfortunately really useful. If I was to influence you to buy anything from like this video, like truly those Zevo fly traps are worth it. They are pricey and you do have to keep buying those inserts, and those inserts don't work on anywhere else. So it is kind of one of those systems that if you get into it, like you're kind of, that's the system you're gonna have to keep up with. Ever since I've had it, I've noticed a significant decrease in like fruit flies or anything flying around in my apartment, and to me that really matters because they're just annoying. The next thing is my couch. This Lovesac couch is so soft, so amazing. I'm glad we were able to actually fit it into our apartment, and I'm glad we were able to go with the deep setting. So if you're not familiar with Lovesac, I'm not going to go too much into it. You can look into it yourself, but essentially it's really customizable, so you can have it be a little deeper of a seat or just like wider of a seat, so you can kind of like, you know, Tetris sit a little bit. But I'm glad we were able to have a deeper seat because it just kind of makes it feel extra cozy. I slept there for 2 nights when my husband was sick, and to be honest, it's even more comfortable than the mattress. So we did, however, get the extra soft version though. The Govee LED lamps. I'm not gonna lie, I was influenced to buying those from Instagram, and they were so good that I bought a second one. I also really love their mobile app. They are somewhat on the pricier side, and it's not like they can get super bright. I think there is a pro version that supposedly has a stronger brightness, and so maybe eventually we'll upgrade to those, but for now I think these are really working well. I feel like I've been talking for forever. So a few things for the kitchen: rechargeable LED lights. These are my new favorite things. I love these. I know I just said kitchen, but I put one in the coat closet. We're about to put one in our laundry room. These are just so great, and they do what you need it to do. They can be super bright or dimmer if you want. It's charging by USB-C, so it's super convenient. I consider getting the round ones, but I actually think the strip ones are better because they disperse a wider light. And then the last kitchen thing is the convection oven. I really love it. And I think I will say part of it is because right now we don't have a working oven. And so this convection oven is really doing everything for us. Unfortunately, the only bad thing is it just takes up a lot of counter space. And there's no way for us to like put it away because we use it often enough where it doesn't make sense for us to put it away. And even if we wanted to, it kind of has nowhere to go. Okay, I think that is all the products. Now let's talk about my favorite dramas and music. The first was The Mentalist. It's an old TV show. I hadn't seen it before, but I started watching it this year and I couldn't stop. And in fact, I stopped now because I was starting to have dreams about the characters, about being in the show, and I was like, okay, that anytime I start dreaming about a TV show, that's when I know I have to stop watching it. Demon Slayer, the new season, I finally got to watch it at the end of October when it came out on Netflix, and it just, if you've never seen Demon Slayer and you like anime, or if you're even not sure about watching anime, trust me, it is really, really good. Just finished Nobody Wants This. I think it's been a while since I've watched a rom-com TV show, and so surprisingly, I really, really liked it. I think Adam Brody and Christian Bale are just great actors, and they really sold me on this relationship. It was funny until the end. It was heartfelt, and it's not super cheesy. I actually watched it with my husband, who hates all things rom-com, and he enjoyed it. Okay, and then the two Asian dramas that I really liked this year was The Double and Love Game and Eastern Fantasy. So The Double, I think some people were saying that there were bugs. I personally didn't notice anything. I just really, really enjoyed watching it. The characters were amazing. The costumes were great. The OST was stuck in my head for a solid like 3-4 weeks after I finished watching it. I wish they maybe had one more episode to kind of show the aftermath of the general coming back, but I think that's just me kind of wanting like a happy ending. And then for Love Game and Eastern Fantasy, I just loved how relaxing and funny, but also the graphics of the fight scenes were really, really great, and you could tell that they really wanted the CGI to look believable. The costumes were great. I think they were a little bit too like flowery for me, but I still think they worked. It was a very fine line. Only bad thing I would say about the drama is I feel like the last 2-3 episodes, pacing wise, it went by much too quick compared to the first 25 or so episodes. It felt like they kind of really sped it up, and by the end of like episode 31, I was like, I had a lot of questions, and I felt like a lot of questions that could have been answered with an extra 1 or 2 episodes weren't, because maybe they were trying to cut it down, which bothered me a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. Like it still worked. I actually even cried in the last episode because it was just really, really moving. I'm not gonna spoil it. For music this year, obviously the Tortured Poets Department, love the album. I also really, really loved Cowboy Carter this year. I'm not a country music person, but something about Beyonce and country music just works. But recently, Rosie? I don't know how to actually pronounce her name. Rosie from Blackpink released Rosie, her first album, and that album is actually really, really good. So if you haven't listened to it, highly recommend. The last one is I really loved Beat Drum by Anu this year. His voice just is so calming and nice and recognizable, and that song was just great. and I love the dancing. So anyways, those are my favorites of 2024. This video is 5 million years long. I'm so sorry. My camera's actually just about to die, so perfect timing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about any of the things I mentioned, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, everything will be linked in the description box if I can find them. The next video will be me and my husband filming our his and hers. Hopefully I'll see you for the next one. Bye guys.